a cheap shot. We love Larry King.
I know, but that was harsh.
No.
You called him 800 years old. You called him a mummy.
I think he's happy when we talk about it.
Do we get invited to breakfast anymore in L.A.?
Does he still go to Nate and Al's all the time? Or was the other joint you went to the Brooklyn Water Bagel place?
Across the street.
What is the farm? That's a place that you go to.
That's Larry's block.
So you don't go to Nate and Al's anymore?
Occasionally.
Well, I would. I'd go to Nate and Al's. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Clayton Kershaw's arm hurts. James Harden's streak is over, and the NFL may curtail celebrations. But we begin today with the increasing petulance of LeBron James as the Lakers continue to spiral down. They lost last night in Memphis to fall to 11th place in the West, 3 games out of the playoffs. LeBron said of his teammates, and I quote, "At this point, if you are still allowing distractions to affect the way you play, then this is the wrong franchise to be a part of. And you should just come and be like, listen, I don't think this is for me," unquote. Wilbon, yesterday you had the Lakers in the playoffs. Do you have them in today?
I don't know if I had them in yesterday.
Sure you did.
I don't think I did.
So did I.
I don't know what I have them today, and I sure as hell don't know about tomorrow. By the way, LeBron wasn't petulant. He gave a long and thoughtful and detailed answer to a question that started out, if the playoffs and the talk of it are a distraction, if. And LeBron said, if they are.
Get out.
And by the way,
get out.
If it's a distraction for the Los Angeles Lakers, you are in the wrong place.
That's right.
LeBron's 100% right. But in the meantime, Tony, they lost another game they couldn't lose. I got home last night and I'm thinking, I said out loud, they're going to beat Memphis by 20.
You thought easily. Yes,
20.
Easily. Yes.
They were down 11 when I turned the game on. It was 61-50. I'm like, what the hell is this? Tony, teams are gleeful when they beat the Lakers. Joakim Noah, who has fought through a million injuries just to play in a game. He gets in these blocking shots last night. Noah looked like it was the conference finals. People are so happy to beat the Lakers. And they got a problem, Tony. They can't defend. And it's not Ingram and Kuzma on offense because those guys are prolific. Yeah, they don't need to be traded anywhere.
One of the reasons they don't defend is LeBron is standing still, as a lot of people are standing still. You talk about Noah. That's a ridiculous non-call. That's a goal 10.
It's a goal 10.
And also, they didn't get it across in the requisite 8 seconds.
The Lakers also got hosed.
Let me give you
3 calls went against
2 sets of numbers that are no good.
What?
They're 1-4 in the last 5. He activated his playoff push. 1-4 in the last 5. 4-10 in their last 14. Yeah. And in those 14, because LeBron and others stand around on defense, they're averaging a league worst 122 points a game. Mike, I can't explain this. I thought that LeBron alone was going to get them to 50. I have the sense, and I don't know if you do, if you talk about distractions at all, one distraction might be, yes, because they offered every single player for Anthony Davis. Lebron and his agent
but those guys are playing well.
Get out.
Kuzma and Ingram in particular,
then what is
they're playing great.
He's taking he's taking teams with marginal talent farther than this. Why not now?
Agreed. Well, Tony, it's not done yet. Maybe they got to catch fire, and it's got to be quick. They got to have a winning 8 out of 9 or 9 out of 10. They got to have
4-10. They're going to go 8-1
coming up. They got Denver coming up.
They going 8-1 after 4-10.
I don't know. We got more bad news coming out of L.A. Tony. Clayton Kershaw struggled yesterday to simply play catch. This sounded bad Friday. It sounds worse now. The Dodgers haven't even scheduled their ace for an MRI and have no idea when he'll resume throwing. Tony, Kershaw had issues last year that led to his velocity being down. So does this sound like a pitcher the Dodgers can depend on?
Short answer, no. No, not to you and not to me. No, it doesn't.
No.
Most of what happened with Clayton Kershaw over about a 6 or 7 year run was he was so great, you knew you were going to lose. He was going to go out there in the regular season. He was going to beat you. Let me give you these numbers from 2011 to 2017. 118 and 41. It's plus 78. It's plus 78, Mike.
That's Greg Maddux.
A 2.10 ERA. It's ahead of Scherzer. It's ahead of Verlander. If you're telling me he doesn't have that velocity, and he's still young, he's only going to be 31. If he doesn't have the velocity, then he's got to, and this is the analogy I'll make. Tiger Woods can't hit it with these young kids anymore.
Right.
So he's got to go back and find something he can do to put himself in a position to be Tiger again.
No.
What is
Kershaw do? Let me give you another analogy. It worries me. It sounds like Andrew Luck. Like he's going to be reaching for a Nerf ball by the end of spring training. It does reminds me of that. Look, arm arm issues are serious. And last year he was able to fight through these things and become somebody who looked more like Kershaw. They get deep in the playoffs
sitting
again.
Out?
I don't know. It depends on his arm.
Well, you said Andrew Luck.
Okay, but Tony, I think the doctors haven't scheduled an MRI in part because they don't want to know. It's like, oh my God, let's just see what he can do a week from now, 2 weeks from now, before we go with the MRI, which might just crush our spirits.
A few years ago when Verlander was with Detroit,
Verlander came back.
Didn't he? Then he lost velocity.
Yes, he did.
And then he got it back in Houston.
In full.
Well, what do you think this was? Because right now, Clayton Kershaw is not Clayton Kershaw.
No, he's not. But I'm not going to rule him out. People said that about Verlander, and Verlander became Verlander and won. So I don't want to get crazy yet. Maybe the Dodgers don't want to either, which is why they're not ordering up the MRI. Just saying.
As Bryce Harper remains unsigned, somebody else became the highest paid player in baseball today. That somebody is Colorado Rockies all-star third baseman Nolan Arenado, who signed an 8-year contract to stay in Colorado worth $260 million, or more importantly, $32.5 million a year. Wilbon, should the Arenado signing be a bigger deal than the eventual signing of Harper?
Yeah. Arenado, by most measures, and God knows there are all kinds of measures these days, is a better player, better everyday player, better defensively. I know one is an third baseman, one's an outfielder, but more important to his team defensively, more clutch.
He's got 6 straight Gold Gloves.
Yes.
He's great.
And you know what? The altitude doesn't affect that.
Not catching the ball.
But offensively, it probably does. And you want to just sort of pump the brakes there. But, Tony, this is an important signing, and maybe it's also Arenado saying, you know what? These free agent bonanzas aren't quite what agents have been promising. And I'm here. No, but he didn't become a free agent.
No, but I'm saying, he got $32.5 million.
Okay, but the point was he stayed where he's been happy and productive.
Right.
And he didn't wait for somebody to tell him, if you wait for the Yankees and the Cubs and the Dodgers and the Mets, you might get $400 million.
Take the bird in hand.
What?
Take the bird in hand. Here are his averages over the last 4 years. A .297 batting average, 40 homers, 126 RBI. Yeah, that's in Colorado. Yeah, but it's fantastic numbers.
He's going to play half his games there for the next 8 years,
I talked to Timmy Turkson today on my podcast. And I said, well, why hasn't Harper signed? And he said Bryce Harper is so amazingly competitive that it is important to him to sign the greatest contract of all time. Well, I'm not sure that Boris and Harper figured on $32.5 a year. That's the number one number right now. I don't know what this means for Bryce Harper.
He could do it for a shorter term. You don't think somebody would sign him right now for 3 years, at $34 million a year? Sure. Or 4 years, or maybe 5 years.
But again, we have this
discussion.
Now
nobody's talking 10.
That's the whole point. We have this discussion about Harper all the time as you wait for Harper. For 3 years, he could have stayed in Washington. He could have gotten numbers.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah. I don't know when he looks at this, does he just say, oh, what's going on here? Arenado's a great player.
Did somebody miscalculated on the Harper team?
Might be. Yeah, might well be. Although, tomorrow he'll sign for $35 million.
He could.
Then we'll see.
2 years after saying players could celebrate in almost any way they wanted, the NFL, according to the Washington Post, now is considering a rule that would ban players from coming off the sideline to celebrate. This is a reaction to players on the field waving their mates over from the bench into the end zone so they can pose and preen. Tony, why is the NFL moonwalking away from a rule it instituted just 2 years ago?
50 guys out there.
Yeah.
Now, you know that I'm not in favor of most of these celebrations, but I will tell you that I think it would be worse to restrict them. If it was me and I scored, I'd hand the ball to the ref and I'd be happy and I'd move on. But my sense of this is that if everybody wants, if you're going to let it happen, let it happen. Let everybody celebrate.
Celebrations.
Who cares
if
they celebrate?
It's a waste of time. You know what, Tony? It's like, get over yourself. You are such a self-indulgent entity that you have to monitor every little thing, like these stupid celebrations, which you just went out and tried to wave the towel yourself 2 years ago as a league.
So
shut up.
If everybody wants to join in, it's fine. To me, if you take a kicker and you throw him over the crossbar, that's okay with me. I know you watched the Oscars the other night. No, you went to an Oscar party, right?
I did.
So my pet peeve has something to do sort of with the NFL in this regard. If an actor wins an award, an actor can stand up there and say whatever he or she wants. But if somebody for art direction or somebody from costume wins, they start playing the music. They want them to shut up. This is their only chance, Mike, to get up there and wave that Oscar.
But you know what?
Let them talk.
So have something to say. Don't just get up there
Mike,
and think your mama and your daddy. Have something to say. I wanted the music to play them off.
If defensive players want to get out there with their mates,
then you celebrate.
Let them do it.
Don't have to call in props.
Let them do it.
What are you doing?
Let them
all off the field. You're not old man enough anymore.
James Harden's 30-point streak finally ended at 32 games last night when he scored only 28 in a victory over Atlanta. The game ended with Harden being surrounded by 4 Hawks just over midcourt.
Look at that.
And Harden chose not to shoot.
2 feet away.
The Atlanta announcers called this an act of, quote, great sportsmanship by Harden, unquote. Is that how you saw it, Mike?
No, he looked up and saw 5 people and just said, I'm tired of this. I've done this. It was great. I mean, let me commend James Harden on a number of levels. One, for playing his butt off when half his team was injured. To start there.
That's right.
Also, it was so funny last night when Harden goes, what difference does it make? I'm not passing Wilt anyway. I thought that was a good line, and it just showed just some perspective that I don't know that Harden always had. I think he has it now, and this is the best thing for the Houston Rockets. They can now get on with the business of trying to beat Golden State, and that revolves around not just Harden, but primarily Chris Paul.
So let me get to this, what happened last night. Because if only one guy was around him from 45 feet, he'd have jacked it up. And more power to him. If anybody showed bad sportsmanship, it was Atlanta.
Don't say that.
It was Atlanta.
That's not, I don't
they
like
put
that.
a blanket around this guy.
It's there. You know what? They said you're not getting 30
He
years,
was over
homie.
10 from 3. If he shoots 10% from 3,
he gets 30.
He's over 30.
Don't you think he's relieved? Don't you think Harden
He may be relieved. And we talk about this a lot. James Harden has given his team a chance to win in the only avenue they had, and yet his reputation has been diminished.
I don't think so.
I do.
The guy's been, come on.
People criticize him. All you boys, all your old players say, I don't want to play with him.
They're in
I don't want to play with him.
I get that. I've heard that.
That's right.
But they're in position now. If they can remain healthy, and this has been a problem, if they can remain healthy, who is the most logical team to challenge Golden State this year in the West?
There's none.
Who's the most logical?
There are none.
Did you see a team leading the Golden State Warriors last year?
Let's take a break.
Yes,
Coming up, Zlatan says he wants to break all the records this season. We'll ask him whether he has a particular one in mind.
And how it felt to miss the playoffs last season despite a lot of goals.
There's nobody as good as Golden State this year.
Okay, but who's the most logical?
Welcome back, the captain of the Galaxy.
Captain.
Our favorite MLS player, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Let's start with this. You predicted that you will break every record in MLS this year. Specifically, which records are you going to break?
I'm going to break the goal record that was made last season because they're all saying, yeah, my age is too old and all these things. So I'll do them the favor and I'll break every record there is. So even the records I don't even know about, I'll break them also.
Well, also a big development. You've been named captain of the team. I mean, that's a lot of responsibility. What kind of captain are you going to be?
I feel very honored. I mean, being captain, it's a lot of responsibility. It's some kind of leadership. So I've been it before. So now I'm being it this season. So I feel ready. I feel good. I feel I still have to be myself because I need to perform the way I'm used to and work hard and yeah, take the responsibility I like to take. So I'll put pressure on the guys and hopefully we get some nice trophy this season.
Will you be demanding of the young players?
I am, yes. But I am also, even if I'm not the captain, I'm very demanding, yes.
Like that, Tony. Young players better watch out.
That's good.
There were reports in the offseason that you might leave. You might be playing elsewhere. Did did that come close? I mean, was that close to happening?
I mean, we had some talks about Europe, but my priority number one was Galaxy, and Galaxy has been fantastic to me. The people has made it very well for me, making me feel welcome. try to do what I'm good at, and obviously the older you get, the more intelligent and the more experience you get. You move different. You're able to move different. Obviously, I don't have the same condition like when I was 25, but if you're intelligent enough, you do it in a good way, and I am that kind of player. I adjust after the game.
So I'm just going to go off topic for a second. LeBron came to L.A. on his own. You went to L.A. on your own. Los Angeles is a pretty cool place. Are you happy there? Like, is there any other city in America you would have wanted to play in? Or do you say to yourself, you know what, I'm a big star. I want to be in Los Angeles?
I didn't come for L.A. I came to work. I came here to perform. If Galaxy was in another city, I would go to that city. So I'm not here on vacation or work or Hollywood or whatever. I am here to perform. Because if I don't perform, I go back to Sweden and I live my life.
See, Wilbon loves to be in L.A. because he thinks he's a big star.
I'm not, but I love L.A.
So we get you out of here on this. We saw this clip the other day of the famous goalkeeper, Kepa. I hope I pronounced that right. And he said to his coach, I'm not coming out. I don't care what you say. I'm not coming out. And the coach just walked away. The coach appeared to be beaten. Do you think that the goalkeeper should have been fined for not coming out of the game?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think there was a misunderstanding. Was supposed to go out, didn't go out. At the end, he decided to stay. But getting fined, I don't know who he got fined by the club or by the federation. I don't know.
By the club. By the club.
By the club.
Yeah.
But then it's like this disciplinary reason. So then he did a mistake. So getting fined, yes. And he should get a big fine for that.
Would you come out if the coach said, Zlatan, get out of here, I'm tired of you. Get out, come out of the game. Would you come out?
I'll go out. I'll go out. I have to respect the decision of the coach and be professional and go out.
Thank you so much for being with us. We're happy. We're not taking you out.
He's the captain.
I'm going out now, sorry.
All right. You can get tickets to see Zlatan at LAGalaxy.com. Let's take one last break, but still to come. Doc Rivers says goodbye to Dirk, but are we sure Dirk will retire?
Until Dirk could get out. Dirk saying, wait.
No, he didn't want to go out. Dirk didn't want to go out.
Which Celtics team will show up tonight in Toronto? I'm going to go.
And new Cowboys comments putting Jason Garrett's back against the wall. See you with Sage Steele, 6 Eastern, right after PTI.
Happy time, people. Happy 80th birthday, Chuck Wepner.
Wow.
Chuck Wepner, also known as the Bayonne Bleeder, was the real-life inspiration for Rocky Balboa. Sylvester Stallone concedes that he watched Wepner go 15 with Muhammad Ali and shortly thereafter came up with the idea for the Academy Award-winning motion picture of 1976, Rocky. As a sidelight, Wilbon and I were in Creed, but found ourselves on the cutting room floor of Creed 2. A tremendous insult.
Enormous insult. Tony, those fights were so good.
Yes.
I missed those big-time star heavyweight fights.
Not so happy anniversary to Manu Ginobili's shoe. On this day 5 years ago, the Spurs guard planted his left foot while on defense and experienced a rare shoe blowout. For those of you who thought Zion Williamson's shoe was the only one that ever exploded, here is proof of a historical antecedent. Unlike Williamson, Ginobili continued to play. Those two were Nikes, so they've had years to look into this problem.
Let's not go there. But you know what? Everything has happened before. Everything.
Happy trails to Doc Rivers, from Doc Rivers, rather, to Dirk Nowitzki. With 9 seconds to go in last night's game and the Clippers comfortably ahead of the Mavericks, Doc Rivers called timeout. As everyone wondered why on earth he would do so, Rivers took the microphone and called for the crowd to give one last ovation to, quote, one of the greatest to ever play, unquote, Dirk Nowitzki. This touching moment was followed by a grateful but embarrassed Nowitzki saying, quote, I guess they're making the decision for me, unquote. Class act by Doc.
Somebody will accuse him of tampering, no doubt.
That was...
By the way, Dirk can't go now. You got the unicorn and you got the rook. I mean, you got...
Can you be a player coach? It doesn't look like
you can't do that. I think
anymore.
that's been outlawed, right?
One error. I said the Lakers were 1-4 since LeBron activated his playoff push. They're 1-2. My apologies.
See, you go
Let's go to the big thing. Jim Zorn will coach Seattle's XFL team. Is he a good hire?
XFL, is that McMahon?
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
The new incarnation?
Next year, yes.
Yasiel Puig says he never worked hard with the Dodgers. Surprised to hear that?
I'm not surprised he never worked hard. I'm surprised he said it.
Didn't it?
Yeah, tremendous talent. The 49ers rather, will place a franchise tag on your boy Robbie Gould. Your thoughts?
You know my thoughts. They're doing this to keep him away from the Bears. The only thing we don't have is a kicker. He's our kicker. He's our kicker. Celtics and Raptors tonight. Which Boston team's going to show up?
I think it depends on the relationship of Kyrie Irving and his teammates at this point. Last one, number 3, Duke. At number 20, Virginia Tech tonight. No Zion. Who you got?
I got the team at RJ Barrett. You like that?
I do.
Is that good scouting?
We're out of time. We'll try and do better the next time.